why I'm doing this. I know I should be doing this. Whatever it is, I'm here for it. Let's clean it up here. He shoots. He scores. Like Kobe. R.I.P. Black Mama. Alright. I guess it's time to talk. What's up, YouTube world? I'm your host, Stephen Wynn of the Win the Moment podcast. And welcome to this new episode. A long time no see, huh? I haven't seen you guys in a long time. I appreciate everyone's patience and willingness to stick around with the group, the Win the Moment fans. I appreciate you guys. I just wanted to give you a little life update. I don't know where this is heading, what direction this is going to go, but this is kind of like a little life update and why I got into coaching. So let's get into it. In August 2019, I suffered a major injury, which I'll go into detail on a later video. I was basically almost an amputee, became infected, open wounds and poor care, and just really struggled with going through that whole experience, hospitalized for over a month, and it just was a crazy experience that I couldn't describe in a couple sentences. I'm a stubborn person. I was a grinder in high school. All I did was grind. That's all I cared about. I wake up that morning at 5 o'clock every friggin' morning with my dad. Lifted a certain amount of weights, hit the chains, then go play other sports. It just was a whole experience. I was a multi-sport athlete, played track, basketball, as well as football. I tried out for the volleyball team as well. So it just was a huge physical demand for me, and I just kept that routine every day. And my dad helped me instill that within me, and I'm glad that it's stuck around, what he's done. But to make a long story short, we keep it pushing around here. So we'll keep pushing, and what basically happened was over the season I basically became a somewhat coach. I was a team captain of my team. I was not recruited very highly out of high school, even though I had big schools talking about me. I had interest with UCLA, and I just think that was probably the dream school I wanted to end up at. I wanted to stay in California. I wanted to be close to my parents. I wanted to be able to play in front of them where it wouldn't have been a big deal. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. As in that moment, I was hospitalized. I was basically being a coach from a distance, not knowing what a coach really is. I was from the hospital bed. I was calling out coverages, watching film while I was in excruciating pain and agony. And I just kept on pushing. I wanted to be there for my guys. That's all I really cared about. I appreciate all my guys I played with. I can probably name every single one of them. My senior year, I played with you guys and I absolutely love you guys. There's another thing I wouldn't do for you guys, even as we're 4 years removed almost. But I just think I think of the world. I'm a team first guy, and I just loved the team, the aspect of team. So I got into coaching. That was my first spark I got. Later on in the year 2020, obviously we had the pandemic and everything was shut down, and there was nothing really I could do. I was trying to go to Maricosta. I just I couldn't do online schooling in the year 2020. And so I asked Coach Mack, head coach of Carlsbad football team, as well as my former head coach, for a job. To be able to help out with the team and being an assistant. It was a very nerve-wracking process. I didn't want to get hired just because I am Steven and the relationships we had, me and Mac and everyone on that staff. I wanted to get it because I wanted the job because I knew I was knowledgeable of it, and I wanted to showcase that. That year we went through the whole COVID pandemic season where California was striking against outdoor sports and not allowing things to happen on that nature. While I was trying to do online classes at the same time. I don't really do well in online classes. I'm an in-person guy, which is kind of funny how I'm just talking to a camera right now. But in 2021, I believe was my first year ever coaching at Carlsbad officially. And I was the assistant defensive line coach with Coach B, which he was a San Marcos. He's now the San Marcos head coach. and basically we worked together, and I was basically his assistant for a long period of time. Eventually, with my personality and everything along those lines, I was able to earn my way up to being more of a head defensive line coach for the varsity program. I obviously love my coaching my guys. Drake Miller, Dom Marin, Bear Brennan, Goose, all these guys I absolutely love coaching my first year, and I couldn't be more thankful for them. And then also my JV guys. I love coaching my JV guys. Sisson, we had Red, we had, who else we had? We had Will, we had so many guys. Issa, we had Cassius, like so many good football players, good energies, good vibes. Johnston, like we just had so many guys. And if you guys are watching this, I appreciate you guys. But those guys really gave me the motivations and the confidence within myself to really know I can coach at this level. I knew as I was coaching in high school, I was like, I know I can do this. I knew I could do that level, and I knew I could do it at an extraordinary high level. Now, I always felt there was more I could be doing physically. As the time I was still rehabbing for my injury, it was a 2-year-long rehab process to finally get cleared. In 2021, I believe, is when I got cleared by my doctor. So I was super excited. My first option I wanted to go to was Southern Utah University or Washington State. Those are my two decisions, and I eventually ended up at SUU, and where I'm at right now currently. So I'm enrolled there, been taking classes there, been super exciting. I did not play my freshman year. I finally made the full rehab recovery. Did not play my freshman year, didn't even put on a jersey. And my first year, my head coach got fired. Coach Warren, now coaching at Boise. Shout out Demo. It was a weird transition process. Never been through a coaching change ever in my life. I've normally had the same exact coaches, the same exact structure, the same exact thing. So it was a whole different thing for me. We all didn't know what was going to happen. Ryan Hutt was the intramural head coach, and we were just all kind of like, And one thing you guys do, or maybe not, maybe know, maybe don't know, is that when you are in a transition process, the number one goal of that head coach is to get basically everyone out of there as much as they can. Keep the good players and cut everybody else that doesn't belong. And so I went through that whole process. I'm not saying it was always like that, and it wasn't so malicious as it may sound. But that's the number one goal, and I think we all agree on that. I don't think that's kind of a crazy statement to make. But yeah, so guys were quitting left and right. A lot of my friends and teammates were done with football, transferring in the portal, going through that whole process, and I was left and right. I was losing friends, and and then the ones that stuck around, that pushed through, that made it part of the team, became really close. Obviously, there's a lot of guys I can mention, but I became a lot close with a lot of guys, and I just created a lot of memories here once that transition happened. Once that transition happened, basically, when I came to SUU, I was about 230-ish pounds, 226 pounds, within that range when I first got here. Basically lost a good amount of weight down to 225, 224-ish during my freshman year, just because I was playing scout team, and I went against guys like Lyle and Braxton Jones and Yarrow and Austin, and I'm listing guys' names, but really, really good players, like really, really good players that could play at a really high level. Obviously, Braxton being the big name of that group. Now he's the left tackle of the Chicago Bears. Well, so shout out Braxton, and Lyle as well, and all those guys. Shout out to everybody. So when Fitz was making that transition process, I had no idea, all I knew was grind. All I knew was work. And that's the philosophy he came in with. And so I was totally fine with that, because I'm ready to work. And that's always been my personality. I always just want to grab my lunch pail and get to work. During that process, I got up to 246 pounds or so, improving dramatically with my football terminology, my intellect of football in general. My confidence was rising, and I really felt like I was in a good spot coming into the spring season. I put myself in a good place. I power cleaned the heaviest I've ever power cleaned. I squatted the heaviest. I benched the heaviest I've ever benched in my life. And my body was finally taking shape the way I wanted to be able to play this game. Sadly, within the first, I don't even remember, maybe like 6 practices, like on the 6th practice or 5th practice, I tore my Achilles in a crazy way. Basically all day I was kind of had this weird feeling. My knee was killing me, and I was the classic athlete, pop 6 ibuprofens and just keep it pushing. And just don't worry about it. And today it was just, that day it just didn't feel quite right. And I tore my Achilles during a pursuit drill, and while I was doing my warm up before I tore it, I just felt like something's not right. The Advil is not hitting, the ibuprofen's not doing what it's supposed to do, the cream is not doing anything, because I took all these things and I still take them to this day, so I can manage my pain level. So I was trying to do that whole thing, and I was just I don't feel right. I talked to the trainer before we even went, and I was like, I don't feel right, my knee's killing me. And he basically said, well, we can do what you can, but basically get your butt back out there. And I was just like, okay, I will. Went to the pursuit drill, everything was going well. Next thing I tried to plant and turn open my hip, and boom, I hear a loud pop. I thought it was the first thing I went to was my fucking knee brace just broke. My knee brace just broke. And I just laid down there, and I'm just like, oh no, my knee brace, my knee, it's over. Like, I thought I went through a full-blown panic attack on the field, laying down. As I'm in pain, as I'm writhing in agony, crying my eyes out, thinking I just blew out my entire knee. They do the classic football thing where they just walk over you and they just keep it moving. They move the cans up a little bit, and that's it. That was the end of my football story. It wasn't a glorious way to go out. It wasn't the way I wanted to go out, but it did. It happened. Obviously, I'm still emotional about it now because I freaking love playing football. There's nothing in this world that gave me more joy than playing football. Just the whole aspect of it, I just loved it. So going out like that was really tough on my mind. And, I go through the whole surgery process, and that's a whole different story for another time. But I just completely just shut down mentally, dude. Shut down mentally. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about anyone. Nothing mattered to me at that moment. Nothing. It's football. My grades took a plummet. Everything took a plummet. My relationships, I didn't care about myself. I feel like no one cared about me. I got a ton of love and support, but it just wasn't it wasn't enough. And that might be selfish to say, but I just didn't feel like enough. I didn't feel like I had everyone had my back. It felt like there was social media help, which was a lot of you guys, which I really appreciate, and I love you guys for all the help you guys do for me, and all the new guys that have subscribed to the YouTube channel, which, by the way, make sure you follow the YouTube channel at The Win the Moment on Instagram and everything like that. But yeah, man, I felt entirely alone. I felt like no one cared about me, and there was no one that really felt like no one went to check on me besides 2 people. I felt like I was abandoned, forgotten, and it didn't matter. And that was kind of my college football experience. To make a long story short, once I tore my Achilles, I vowed to help out the teams whatever I can while I was doing my rehab process. So I was helping through my rehab process. I was, that season, I was basically the cameraman. I helped out with a lot of our film, went to all the meetings, went to all the lifting, did all the rehab, did everything like that. And I, through this time, I was just slowly getting better, trying to get more knowledgeable. Once I got to about halfway through the rehab process, I realized football is not going to be in my future anymore. Playing it, at least. And it really killed me. It really did. You just don't have 9 surgeries and you just hop back up and you're like, all right, I'm ready for number 10. I just don't think a lot of people can do that. And I just couldn't do it. So, as the season is going on, I devised this plan. I devised a plan that at the end of the season, I'm going to give it my all. I'm going to help out with the camera. I'm going to get on. I hate heights. I had to get on this stupid lift. It wasn't a stupid lift, but it was just, I hated lifts. I hated being up high. I hated doing all that kind of crap. I just did not like it at all. But I'd do anything for the team. So I'll do it. I suck it up. I'll do it. I'll move on. So I actually filmed majority of our games, especially our home games. I traveled with the team, which was my first time ever traveling. So that was really cool. I got to meet a lot of cool media people behind the scenes and our camera people and like Caitlin and Maddie and everything like that. Everyone who I met, if I'm forgetting any names, but it was really cool to see a different side of the football perspective. So I got to be part of the film crew. Obviously, I enjoyed my time there as much as I could, but as I was filming, I was like, I need to put my foot in the door. I need to keep it pushing. I need to devise a plan where I can help out this team. And the one thing I know my body can't hold up to, but I know my mind is really, really good when it comes to this football stuff. At least with my position. I know. I try my best to always continue to learn and be the best student I can be. And I had great teachers growing up in this football world. So I was really knowledgeable at a very young age by just being surrounded by them as well as researching on my own. But about midway through the season, I came up with a plan to say I'm going to ask Coach Fitz, the head coach at Southern Utah University, as well as Ryan Hunt, aka Coach Hunt, for an opportunity to coach at SUU. Now some things happened, and I won't go into detail about that right now, but a lot of things happened. Let's just say that a lot of things happened, and we lost some people. We lost a person, so it was really hard on me to go through that whole process of losing someone so dear and close to me. So it was really, really, really tough on me, and I had to give up, the sport I loved so I can secure my future. So I go into the office. I remember trying to talk to Ryan, Coach Ryan Hunt, and he wasn't in his office. He was running about 10 minutes late. I remember this specifically. And Coach Magazine, Sean Magazine, he's the defensive end coach here at Southern Utah University, pulls me in and asks me who I'm looking for, and we had this whole deep conversation, which I won't talk about on here. But we go through this whole conversation, and it was probably one of the better conversations I've had from someone I just didn't think I was going to have that conversation with. And and they say God works in mysterious ways, and he sure did on that one. Coach Sean put a good word in for me. With Fitz and Coach Hunt relayed the message, and I was able to stay on staff. Now on staff, I've been working my ass off over the summer, and I basically said, who needs a summer break? Who needs to go vacation? Who needs to go out there to see your friends? I would just lock in. So this year, all I did was I was helping Coach Ryan Hunt. I've been his assistant, and he's the director of football operations. And he's been absolutely tremendous for me with my learning style and his teaching style. We match very well together on that aspect. of like our coaching styles. So that's been really good to see someone that's been, Coach Hunt has 20 years of a coaching experience as well as playing at SUU. So it was such a big deal for me to be in someone's corner that I could relate so much to. So I've been helping him out with the whole process of helping recruit, helping camping. He's the director of football operations, if I didn't say that already. I've been helping out with him like with bus schedules, recruiting, numbers, camps, coaching, whatever it is, going to get paper and staples and fixing printers and things along that nature where I'm just earning my stripes. And I know I'm excited. I'm not complaining about it. I know that's the deal, and I can't wait for this upcoming season with the Thunderbirds. But it's just been an amazing experience as of right now. I've been doing my best to earn my way and just become the grinder I've always meant to be. So I've been helping out Coach Hunt, and we're getting ready for season. I'm really excited for season, and one reason why I coach, I'll cut this video off now to let you guys get some break. One reason why I got into coaching, and the only reason why I got into coaching, was I wanted to impact as many people as possible in my life. When I grew up, I wanted to be a teacher. That was I wanted to be an NFL player, and I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to dominate college football, to be more specific. I wanted to dominate college football and become a teacher when I retired. That's all I wanted to do. I love kids. I love the aspect of teaching. I love learning things. I found out when I got to college, I hate school, but I love learning. And that's one thing that kind of drove me to it. And I said, how can I impact as many people in their lives? How can I impact as many people? Teaching. How many kids you get a year? 200 probably. 200, 300 kids a year? You have a chance to make 300 impressions on kids every single year. And those are just the ones in your classroom. And I said, that's the perfect way to do things. I didn't have the best teachers growing up when it comes to actual academic teachers. I didn't have the best teachers. I got plenty of stories I could tell you about that, how much they sucked. And I've had really good ones as well. What I'm saying is, the reason why I got into coaching is to want to impact as many people as possible. And once teaching, I didn't feel like teaching was the best way. Now I've learned that coaching has way more impact on kids going out in the future. Because I can tell you all my coaches that have left an impact on me. I can't tell you all the names of the teachers that left an impact on me. I can only remember all the good coaches. I can only remember all the good professors. I can only remember all the good teachers. I only can remember those good people. I can only remember those people. I don't remember the bad people per se. I don't remember when they had good days. I remember them being bad. Bad people in the moment. So I thought, how can I impact as many people as possible? Coaching. How many players you get a year? 100, 120, 130. How many kids do you recruit a year? I did 535 recruits this year. And I try to leave an impact on every single one of them, as much as I could. And so coaching is the aspect of, how am I going to change the world? And I can't remember who said this. I believe it was an artist. It might be Kevin Gates. It might be 2 Chainz. It's one of those genre of rappers. And I remember him saying this.
You make all of the wrong people uncomfortable anyway. So hey, I wasn't made for everybody to like you. Once you change your perspective, that's when miracles happen. It was a blessing for me because I gained a greater understanding of myself. I don't have to engage with the world. I create my own world around me.
Everyone wants to change the world. They want to change the world, but they don't want to change their neighborhood. They want to change their school district, their area, their town. But they don't want to change the people that are around them. They don't want to change all these little things. They don't want to change their city. They don't want to change their state. They want to just change the world. How are you going to change the world when you can't change the people around you? How can you impact them? And I mean by change is, how are you gonna change and influence people around you to seek better things? How are you gonna go into your community, go into your neighborhood, go into your, let's say you got a terrible neighborhood, right? Let's say you live in the projects or something along those lines, or in a trailer park or whatever. And then you have an idea growing up and saying, I want to change the world. You got to change the people around you. You got to be surrounded by good people. You got to be driven. You got to have a way to get through to people, a story to tell. And that's why I'm here. I have a story to tell. And this Win the Moment podcast has been a way I could tell my story through different people and different lenses. So this is my first time ever doing like a solo shot of just me talking. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys can go out there and win your moment and dominate whatever you do. Remember, you have to change the people around you for the better, and have them change people. And once you do that, you inspire the world once you get to that point. I'm Stephen Wynn, aka Coach Wynn, and I appreciate all you guys' love and support. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you. Make sure you go out there and win your moment.